is, especially side to side, but you wind up immediately palpating, especially if you see deformities. So you would start palpating, and whatever's on the list, but you want to palpate every bony prominence. And that would be the clavicle, the AC joint, the acromion. I'd be coming along the spine of the scapula. You just normally do that, and then you're palpating. This is the subacromial space. It becomes just your normal, if you think about the joint anatomically, you normally just start palpating everything. And then you lay your hand on the joint and move it. And so you can feel, everybody's got little creaks. Okay, and you move it different directions, and you start feeling the creaks. Okay, and then the special test, let's see if we palpated all the places we have to. So inspect for all the things, swelling, erythema, splinting, signs of pain. You know, if she had, for example, broken her clavicle, she'd be holding the weight. You know, so you're looking for anything that's weird like that. Yeah. Okay, and then we palpate, okay, so let's find the AC joint. So the best way to find it is to run your hands along the clavicle. And when you get in the clavicle, we should bring the skeleton in here, it's very helpful. So the clavicle's got that nice S shape, and when it comes back out towards you, then the next thing you feel is you start, here's the acromion, and where the two are coming together, there's usually a little bit of a divot in there. You don't have much because your space, it's right there, but your space isn't real big. And then if she had pain, you could do the cross arm test at that point, but it comes later. That's to look for the AC joint separation, if that caused any pain. Okay, but it says to palpate the AC joint, and I probably palpated most of the things. The coracoid process is under the clavicle. It's right in here, and that kind of hurts, doesn't it, when I do that? It always has a little bit of pain there when you palpate the right place. It's right under there. Okay, the greater tubercle is right here, and if she's in the anatomical position, it puts it a little more lateral.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, and then she's got the lesser, and her biceps tendon is right there, so I'm in the groove, right there. Okay, what else we got there? Notice any crepitus? Yeah. Okay, and then you're going to do the flexion, extension, the abduction, the adduction. I mean, you could do rotation if you had to, but we're going to have her do some special tests. And then the axillary nerve sensation, remember, is the Sargent's patch. So
what is the Sargent's?
That's the axillary nerve area. If you look on your nerve maps, and it says to palpate there. So technically, of course, I would compare side to side, and I'd have her close her eyes. Okay, tell me where I'm touching.
Right, left.
Okay, or I could say, do you feel me touching? Usually, you know, this is a test if they've had some trauma, you're worried about the axillary nerve. So, and you compare side to side. Okay. So we checked the areas on the inspection, the palpate, the crepitus, and the axillary nerve. Okay. Now we're going to have the patient do the active range of motion. Now remember, flexion is this direction. Extension is this direction. She probably has abduction is out and adduction is back down. And this is against resistance at this point. Now the patient does internal and external rotation. Now they have to move from the shoulder joint. Okay, if they just move here, that's just the elbow. So make sure that they're rotating their shoulder.
So can you like hold their elbow steady to make them do that, or?
You can have them, they can bend a little. It's okay. You can help them if you want, but the idea is it's active. So, okay.
And work on practicing a way you can tell them to do it that serves your purpose. Verbalize it before you get there, because otherwise you'll be like me going, get, verbalize, get.
Okay, and you're noticing any limitation while they're doing that. That's the idea. Okay, now the strength testing, and it goes through the shoulder shrug, abduction, and then we're going to do the empty can test and internal rotation and external rotation. Okay, so shrug your shoulders. Okay, and then I'm going to have you just. This is regular abduction. Okay, now if I do the empty can test, you change it now to so. She has to be thumbs pointing down, and now it's 45-degree angle, okay? This has rotated her supraspinatus tendon under the acromion process. Now we have a raise against resistance. If she had any impingement, it might hurt, or she might be weaker, okay? And then we're gonna have her do the near test. Okay, so she turns her arm down, and you could do it with her if you want. So you turn the thumb down, and then you have them do this, and it's near the ear. Okay, and if that caused you any pain, that would be a problem. Now, technically, at this point, you could do one side, but if she had limited range of motion, it would be okay to compare to the other side. Okay, what else is on here besides the near? Are we at the Hawkins yet, or no? Oh, internal and external rotation. I might have done the near in the wrong place. Okay, for external rotation, elbow bent, arm close to the body, and the movement is from the shoulder. I'm gonna have her, and now you can hold her down. I'm gonna have you push against see how she had to rotate her shoulder to do that. And I can come out further, okay? I can.
So you hold.
So I'm trying to keep her from abducting. I'm trying to check.
Yeah.
I'm actually trying to check rotation. Okay. Now and you can do that on both. You should compare both sides for the strength testing. Okay. So I'm holding you in and push against. Okay. That you really had to rotate for that. Okay. Now for the internal rotation, we do the push-off test. So hold your hand like this. Push against my hand.
Arrest her.
Okay. And then I could check the other side. All right.
Exactly.
Did you see that?
Arrest her and have her push you in.
Okay. All right, so that's the shoulder movements, and now we're gonna do the special testing. Okay, Speed's test was, I'm checking for the bicipital. There's a little ligament over the long head of the biceps, and if that gets stretched or torn, then the bicipital tendon moves out of that little groove, the bicipital groove. So I'm checking for the slippage of that. So I'm gonna find her tendon again, it's right here, okay? And then I'm gonna have her push up against me. And if just doing that slips it out, that might be an indicator. Then the Speeds test there were different ways. Yesterday we were practicing a number of ways. I'm going to tell her not to let me move her arm. And what I'm gonna do is she's in this position. I'm going to be pronating and pushing down. She's got to then supinate and flex upward. So I'm gonna say, don't let me move. And if this tendon started to pop out, I'd feel it. Okay? Good job. And that you only have to do on one side, because you'd be doing that on the painful side. Okay, so you only have to do those once. That was Jurgensen's. Where the heck are we? Did all these. Okay, Hawkins. I think I've done most of the. Okay, so near we already did. Hawkins, picture what you're checking. It's like a bird's hawk. The supraspinatus, I'm trying to make it rotate under the acromion, so I'm going to have her do this, and I could help her do it. I'm helping her do it. Okay.
So is it here?
It's here.
Or is it down? Yeah. It's out here.
It's okay. It's better if it's out here because you get more range of motion. You could do both. You could compare. You could compare and come in and check both, which would be a more thorough exam. The idea is we're trying to reproduce the pain she might have described. Okay, so that's a movement at the shoulder. Okay, and then we did the near test and we did the empty can. And now the AC, we also did it, but I'm gonna have her pull her arm across. I could help her. Okay, or I could tell her to do it. That's all you do, because if she had an AC separation of romaoclavicular joint, that causes pain. Okay, so that's the AC test. And then the two thoracic outlet, and I should tell everybody here, the examiners too, I don't know if I have the original sheet or the new sheet. I made it so you have some choices, because Ken showed you actually we had 4 tests on here and we've taken it down to 2. But you have a choice of basically 3. The ruse is on there. That's this. You have them flap their hands like a rooster. Okay, ruse for rooster, for a minute. Now, we don't really have to have it for a minute, but what you're looking for is if doing this causes numbness and tingling, it might indicate that there's an impingement at the thoracic outlet. Okay, the other 2 that you have a choice of doing is Allen's or costoclavicular. Allen, they're both with the head looking away. It's just where I hold the hand. So I have you look away, and I have my finger palpating her pulse. If I palpate it, if I pull it back down here, that's the costoclavicular. If I pull it back and up high here, it's the Allen's. And we don't care which one you do.
And that's
Okay, so turn towards them, and so I have her look away, so I'm really stretching the outlet, and then I pull back, so I'm further closing it off. I palpate, and this is costoclavicular, and this is Allen's.
Are you looking for pain and within
I'm looking for diminished
Cessation
pulse.
of
She
pulse.
might say that she would not have pain probably. She probably has numbness and tingling. She could tell us, but I'm feeling for the pulse.
Typical history is that they wake up in the morning with their arm numb because they've been sleeping like this and the outlet shuts off their circulation.
Okay.
And then you do this test and you find that their pulse is gone. You get an x-ray and they've got a cervical rib or some other thing that's interfering with the flow.
Okay. And then what we took off, I don't know if you like this as a better test because we could add it back for next year. We took off Adson's, which was the exact same, except I have you look at me. We just put the ones that with the looking away. I don't know that one's better than the other,
I
so.
would just have them raise their hand and turn it, which would compress it too. I don't know whose name.
It's not on the checklist, but we could look into that.
That's the doc, that's a Smith
This is
test.
Smith
It'll
test.
be the Smith test.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll add it.
You're not
Okay.
orthopedist,
And then you verbalize that you need a C-spine for any evaluation of shoulder pain.
Yep.
Okay.
Did that apprehensive one get added to that?
Oh, yeah, it's not in here. So again, the apprehension test. So you really should have the patient laying on the table. So do you mind laying down?
Which way's best?
You could go that way. Okay. So I would have her lying on the table. Okay. And then I have her do this. Okay. And just right now, she might actually be experiencing some pain. This is the shoulder apprehension. It's on the one that the newer list that I added that I said you might want to print out. Okay, so she's like this. This already is, if she's a little bit lax and if she just dislocated like recently, this might be causing it to dislocate a little bit. So she's already, that's why it's apprehension. She might be not wanting to do this. And so then when I do this though, that might relieve the pain.
Interesting.
And that's,
So the elbow's tucked for this one?
yeah, the elbow's like this because in this position, I'm actually forcing her shoulder a little bit out.
When they come in with the dislocation, they'll be pulling it like that.
Yeah.
Right. If it's dislocated, we're not really doing it.
No.
If this is looking for a lax shoulder joint, not, if they're already dislocated, we're sending them to, unless you know how to reduce it.
Any movement, just tuck the elbow and press down.
Yeah, I'm pressing right here,
Okay.
really close to the shoulder. It would slide the humeral head back in.
It's the reverse of what they do for comfort.
Right.
They're gonna do this for comfort. You're gonna do this.
Right, but then this makes it
Why
better.
not pop it up?
Okay.
This makes it better.
Yeah, well, you don't push hard enough to pop it out.
Do you, ever have you ever I've never reduced
Oh,
a
yeah.
shoulder.
Oh, it's wonderful.
So it's.
That would be really
shoulder
nice to
apprehension
relieve
is
someone's pain like
this or
that.
like this?
Oh, they hate you at first, but then they love you.
Yeah, you could be further up. We didn't have enough table.
Yeah.
Wanna move over?
Because we did it like this.
It's okay, and
It can be here, it can be here.
it's okay either
This
way,
thing is
right
really
here.
the External rotation.
The external rotation's popping it out, and then this is relieving it.
Compression.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's here, it's fine. Here is
It's gotta
fine
be
too.
on the table though.
Yeah, on the table is,
It
it
does
technically
work better.
doesn't have to be, but yeah, it would just work.
Otherwise, the compression is really hard if you don't have something backing you up.
Right, it would take two hands to do it if you. Okay, so did we do all of our shoulders?
Yes.
Okay, now we get to the elbow. So again, you're looking for deformity, signs of trauma. Now remember the carrying angle? The carrying angle is this. You just have the patient stand in their anatomical position because if they had some problem with their elbow, it might be like this. So you're just looking for normalcy.
And it's different in males
I
and
was just gonna say,
females.
let's have a guy stand up there next to him.
Come on, Tommy.
And it's
The Hawkins is like this.
That is.
You're an aberration.
And you're rotating the shoulder of the supraspinatus under the front.
Yeah.
Next, go up.
Let's see.
He's an aberration. His are wider than they
I
are.
don't know if mine are any better.
What is it supposed to be for a guy?
For guys, it should be more straight. Yours are straight.
Yeah, his are straight.
Do you throw like a girl, Tommy?
So mine are more
like And that's why. Yeah.
She doesn't have an
Jolie's
exaggerated carrying
more
angle.
male pattern elbow joint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Male pattern elbow joint.
Well, okay, and then also in Downs and some of the other genetic things, it'll be wider.
Oh, beware.
Oh, well, that
yeah.
explains it, because I'm a.
Turners, yeah.
Turners looks like that.
That explains, now I have an excuse for
Yeah.
being
In fact,
son.
Turners,
That's good to know.
yeah, Turners are wider than normal females.
Yeah. They'll be almost wings.
Explains everything.
Oh, oh, stop.
Stop.
What did you do? What did-
I was posing for the camera.
Oh, okay.
He was flexing.
Okay,
So how do you describe it?
elbows, we've done.
Luckily, there's only so much elbows do, so there's only so much you have to do.
Right.
to them.
The palpating though, I do want you to know where to palpate. So the olecranon process is the actual point of the elbow joint, and at the end of that point, and you could, and honestly, I'm palpating the whole elbow joint, and I would be moving her elbow for crepitus. And then at the tip is where the olecranon bursa would be if she had a bursitis, which, usually you can see it.
Yeah,
It's usually pretty prominent.
And warm and red.
Yeah, so
might be.
usually